What time is it? Say it's time for KP's Video News. KP's Video News. It's KP's Video News, y'all. It's KP's Video News, y'all. That's right, folks. It's time for KP's Video News. And as you can see, I got my KP Video News mask on here. And, you know, people got to wear your masks out there, man. I don't care what the clown says, what the DC dunce has to say. You know, put your mask on when you go out. I'm in the crib right now, but I definitely got that mask. And speaking of, you know, merch, I got that merch. I'm building up that merch. Got these KP Video News caps. I got the KP Video News t-shirts in all sizes. Got to get with me. KP Video News cups. Get with me. I'm building up my merch over here. Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna go in. I'm coming in hard on this one right here because there's definitely some dirty crap going on in this country right now. And in Salt Lake City, a police dog in Salt Lake City was ordered to attack an African-American man who was already surrendered on his knees with his hands in the air. And police officers arrived at Jeffrey Ryan's house. This was back in April in Salt Lake City after they responded to a call made by someone who said they had heard him arguing with his wife. Ryan is facing charges of domestic violence, and his wife filed a protective order against him in December 2019, but the 36-year-old said he had been staying at the house for weeks after his wife had asked for the order to be lifted. Body cam footage that was released by authorities Tuesday, a couple of days ago, showed officers arrive at Mr. Ryan's house while he was smoking as he got ready to leave for his job as an engineer. The 36-year-old, who was dressed in a white vest and dark trousers, was visibly startled by the officer's arrival, and one of them shouted at him, "Get on the ground or you're going to get bit." And a dog was heard barking as Mr. Ryan responded to the officers and told them, "I'm just going to work." And so while they put the flashlights in his eyes, the officers then rushed into Mr. Ryan's back garden, as one of them claimed he was trying to escape by climbing over the fence. After being asked to get on the ground, the 36-year-old knelt down and put his hands in the air, but the officers kept threatening to have the dogs bite him if he did not comply. Although the footage showed Mr. Ryan complied with their order, the officer ordered the dog named Tuco to attack him. They told Tuco to hit Mr. Ryan's, and the dog attacked his leg. As the officers stopped and shouted, "I'm on the ground. Why are you making your dog bite me?" And the officers then appeared to encourage the dog to continue. And Tuco bit Mr. Ryan's again, who screamed out in pain. And then they praised the dog, saying, good boy," repeatedly as Mr. Ryan shouted, "Why are you doing this?" And asked, "What did I do?" And one of the officers called the dog "good boy" again after it was ordered to stop attacking Mr. Ryan as they handcuffed him and called for a medic for a dog bite to the leg. The officers who called for a medic told Mr. Ryan, "You're listening great now. You're listening great. You weren't listening great a minute ago." Mr. Ryan told, is what he stated, that he had to have multiple surgeries to treat his injury and lost his job as he could not work for some time. He added that during the arrest, he wasn't fighting. He was cooperating, and we've been through this. We've seen this. I always cooperate with the officers no matter what. And 36-year-old has filed a lawsuit against the city of Salt Lake City Police Department, and his attorney, Daniel Garner, and Gabriel White have alleged that the officers used an unnecessary level of force. Mr. White stated that the incident occurred because his client is black, and added, "What different between the two of us that could make this thing happen to him, but I couldn't imagine it happening to me. No one's ever shown up at my house." And although the incident occurred in April, Mr. Ryan stated that he wanted to talk about it now. after witnessing the Black Lives Matter protests in the last couple of months in opposition to police brutality and racial inequality. Everybody matters, but you just can't treat people differently because of their religion or their skin color. I developed myself to get where I am right now. I should have that same respect as others, but we don't get it. The Salt Lake City Police Department stated as there is pending litigation, they are unable to discuss specifics of the case. And although the incident occurred in April, there was never an internal affairs complaint filed. When we became aware of the situation this morning, an internal affairs investigation was immediately launched by the department to determine if the use of force was within policy. And the department added that the investigation will consider the totality of the events that occurred that night. As with every complaint regarding the use of force, in Salt Lake City Civilian Review Board has the opportunity to conduct their own separate investigation. And on Tuesday, Salt Lake City Mayor Aaron Mendenhall urged the city's police chief, Mike Brown, to investigate the incident with urgency and asked him to be as transparent as possible with the public. And so, you know, like I said, even though the man had surrendered, even though he had surrendered, down on his knees with his hands in the air, they still sicked the dog on him. And as a result of that, he ended up, you know, receiving some real bad issues with his legs, and he ended up losing his job because he couldn't go to work anymore. And here's a second story here. And they had deputies under investigation in Los Angeles. Los Angeles County Sheriff Department says it is investigating an incident last week in which deputies were recorded on video pointing their guns, including at least one rifle, at a pair of unarmed black teenagers who witnesses said had been the victims of a crime. In the video of that incident, which occurred Friday about 5 p.m. in Santa Clarita, about 30 miles north of Los Angeles, deputies are seen brandishing their weapons at the two teens while onlookers plead to the deputies to stop. The LA County Sheriff's Department stated a caller reported that two black men in their 20s were fighting and hitting a man with a skateboard, and the call was dispatched as an assault with a deadly weapon. But in the video of the incident posted on Instagram, witnesses told officers that the two teens were actually the victims of a crime and had only been defending themselves after they were attacked. The video was posted, and the mother of one of the teens who did not take the video herself, and she wrote that in her post that her son and another teen were confronted by someone who was allegedly homeless. The guy became so aggressive that he took off his shirt and pulled out a knife and a whip and tried to stab them. And said his friends only had their skateboards to cover them from the knife and the whip, so they held it out to keep the distance from this guy. When deputies arrived, they tried to secure the scene by detaining possible suspects who matched the caller's description. The sheriff's department said the teens were held at gunpoint and released after the deputies determined what had unfolded. The 11-minute video, the deputies are seen with their handguns drawn, and at least one officer points a rifle at the teens while their hands are in the air. Unarmed teens now, no guns, no weapons, no nothing. And one deputy asked the person filming to get out of the way, and bystanders are heard shouting at the deputies to put their guns down and defuse the situation. It was the other guy someone heard shouting. They didn't do anything at all. Although the deputies briefly detained the two teens, there were no arrests. No arrests. In a video message posted on Twitter Tuesday, Los Angeles County Sheriff Alex Villanueva said he saw the video, which went viral on social media, and that the incident is under investigation. I have concerns about the tactics deployed, Villanueva said in his video. And late Tuesday, the Sheriff's Department announced on social media that they would also be reviewing their policies governing the use of the AR-15 rifle, one of which was utilized in the incident. So they pulled an AR-15 on two teenage kids with skateboards. Come on now. No guns, no weapons, nothing. And the other guy, the guy that was attacking them, had a knife and a whip, and they didn't pull the gun on him. Man, this is garbage. This is real garbage. And Santa Clarita Mayor Cameron Smith said in a statement that he was also concerned about the incident and ordered that the investigation be expedited. In addition, we have asked the deputy to be removed from the field pending the outcome of the investigation, he said in a statement. That is totally ridiculous, man. Totally ridiculous. Wow. The cops pulled an AR-15, guns and AR-15s on some teenagers that were defending themselves from a man that actually had a weapon, a knife, 2 weapons, a knife and a whip. And he didn't even get arrested. Nothing happened. Nothing happened to him. Nothing at all. So it's the same old garbage, man. And this same old garbage is happening today. And this is some garbage from the past. And the park removes the police chief's name for forcing Jackie Robinson to exit the game back in 1946. This is the kind of crap that went on back then, and it's the kind of crap that's going on today. A former police chief in Sanford, Florida, who once forced baseball legend Jackie Robinson to leave the baseball field during a minor league game in 1946, has had his name removed from the park. So from 1946 to 2020. It took all this time, decades. Come on now. It took all this time to finally get this man's name removed from this park. And so Sanford City Commission unanimously voted on Monday to remove Roy G. Williams' name from the park. And what Jackie Robinson and this ballpark means to the history of Daytona Beach and the society in general is a powerful thing. And to play a small part in that and to continue that message and telling the story is pretty incredible. Elliott Avenue Park will be the new name. They should call it Jackie Robinson Park, of the park that had featured the cop Chief Williams' name. According to the story, because of strict segregation laws for travel, lodging, eating places, and recreational facilities in the state of Florida, Williams told Montreal Royals manager Clay Hopper that Robinson and John Wright, a black pitcher for the team, had to be removed from the ballpark or the game would be stopped. Glick noted that those events unfolded days after Robinson played 5 innings in the first racially integrated spring training game, March 17th, for the Royals against the Brooklyn Dodgers. City Island Ballpark, where the game was played, was officially named Jackie Robinson Ballpark in 1990 and has been added to the National Register of Historic Places. Robinson was named the International League MVP while playing for the Royals in 1946, and he was called up to the Dodgers before the start of the following season, and that made his Major League Baseball debut April 15th, 1947. So all these years, man, 1946 all the way to 2020, this racist cop's name remained at that particular park, but now they have removed his name. But hey, you know, this is where we are. This is where we are, and this is the history of this nation.
KP's Video News. It's KP's Video News, y'all.
Peace.